Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, bringing you your predicted lineup for tonight's Europa Conference League. I may get used to that, get that one right. Europa Conference League tie versus Pacos and Ferreira. And here with us, as always, we have Jack and Nicky to help us get through the starting lineup. Jack, my man, how are you? You pumped for this evening?
No, David, I'm definitely pumped for this evening. We do definitely have to get used to saying Europa Conference League. It is going to be tough, to be kind of relegated to this competition. But the moment we win it, David, it's going to be put, like I said a million times, it's going to be put into one of the most prestigious competitions, in the world. Everybody will want to play in it the moment that we win it this year. So honestly, looking forward to it, our first game of it.
Yeah, 100%. Look, and I just want to say to everybody, I know some people may be rating off the competition, but for me, it's a chance to win silverware. And I think we should definitely do our best to try and get it. Look, I think we can definitely navigate the games between, youngsters and maybe fringe players. And then when called upon, maybe in the later stages, like the likes of some of our big dogs getting out there. But I do definitely think it's a chance for us to go and win silverware. Just a bit on what Nuno's press conference, he basically said anyone that started against Man City will be left at home. So they're not even traveling, so they won't even be on the bench, the likes of Son or anything like that. They're all left at home. So look, we're left with a tricky prediction today. But look, we're going to get in it. We got 11 out of 11 last week for the last one versus Man City. Let's see if we can do the same again here. So look, we will get into it. Goalkeepers. Look, just judging off Nuno's words in the press conference, Jack, the way he said that nobody that started against that City are travelling. So for me, look, it has to be Galini. I know there's the young Austin there who was actually on loan in MLS last season. But for me, it has to be Galini, Jack.
Yeah, it definitely has to be Galini. I'm looking forward to it as well, David. I think he played really well against Chelsea. He came out against the Scum as well. I think he's honestly very talented with his feet. I think he put up some really good save against Chelsea. Actually, and you might say even kept us in it. At Chelsea, maybe helped us get that that 2-2 draw, let us come back. So honestly, looking forward to some more Galini. Probably the best dressed probably for this game as well.
Yeah, 100%, and hopefully he'll be spitting bars at their striker, putting him off, giving him an old rap song or two. 100%. No, look, I definitely agree with you. He played very good against Chelsea. Look, both goals that went in, there's nothing he could do, not a fault for any of it, and he pulled off some great saves. And I, for one, am super excited to see him. I can't wait. I really can't wait. Look, it's a big difference going into these games with someone like Galini compared to Joe Hart. Joe Hart, look, you had no confidence. You knew his career was finished and was on a downward spiral. Whereas Galini, he's actually coming in to compete for the #1 spot. He's coming in to compete, and he knows he's not just a backup as well. So I'm very, very much looking forward to Galini. Moving on to right back now, Jack. Look, you have Piscozzi, you have Doherty. Tanganga won't play any part, unfortunately, because I love to see more of manhandler Tanganga. I really would. But so it's between Doherty and Piscozzi. And Jack, I'm going to let you make the first call on this one. Who would you like to see right back?
Personally, David, I'd like to see Piscozzi, but I do think it's probably going to be Doherty just simply because, he is probably a bit more of a senior player. Definitely, Piscozzi probably is a better defender than Doherty, but maybe this is just, a game where, Nuno is thinking we are going to be having plenty of the ball. It might be better to have someone, maybe theoretically, someone like Doherty who might be just a bit more attacking, a bit better on the ball, could maybe, provide a chance or two. Maybe that's his thinking, David. So I'm going to go with Doherty for this one.
Yeah, do you know what? It's a very good call, Jack, because, look, I believe he will go Doherty this one. And if we do get the job done convincingly, I think Piscozzi will probably play in the return leg when we're at home.
Right.
But I think for this one, it's a shrewd move to put Doherty in there. Although, look, he hasn't been the greatest in the Spurs shirt, he still has that bit of experience. And like you said, he'll definitely provide that attacking option going forward, especially the way Pacos like to play the high line. So I think that's the correct call, Jack. So I'm very happy to go with my fellow countryman Doherty. And look, hopefully the guy has a good game. Moving on to right-sided centre-back, who we're going to put in beside him. Look, honestly, it's got to be Romero. It has to be our main man, Romero. Look, whoever goes in beside him, it could be the case that Romero does move to the left, but I do think Romero will play the right-hand side. And I, Jack, cannot wait to see this guy in action. It's his debut. He came on a little bit against City near the end. He didn't really get to see too much of him. But here we're going to get to see what he's really about. And look, he's going to have a good test today. Their main guy up front, he's a big guy. He's a nuisance, and it's an aggressive team. And Romero's known for his aggressive nature. His interceptions and stuff like that. So it'd be very interesting to see him today and see what he can provide, because with this big guy up front for them being a nuisance, with Romero's interceptions and ball recoveries and the way he likes to get stuck in, it's really going to put this guy off his game. And I can't wait to see Romero in action tonight, Jack. This is what we've been waiting for.
No, David, I can't wait to see our Argentinian, almost bastion. You might say he's just godlike. From what we've seen in the highlight videos, and as well, even in his feature against against City. He had that fantastic header. We saw a bit of the aggression there that we've been waiting for. He's coming off of an injury in the Copa America, but it seems like he's recovering by the day and seems to be almost maybe even fully match fit. Some might say by now. And so I'm really looking forward to it as well, though. We will be seeing him maybe in a back four. That'll be interesting, David. I think he's more used to maybe the likes of a back three, but he seems like a world-class center back. So I'm pretty sure he'll adjust just fine. But as well, maybe it could be a back three. Maybe that's also maybe a bit of an outside shout, considering that when Romero did come on against City, he did motion for a back five. He did tell the lads to switch the formation. So maybe it's possible that Romero might be in some sort of a version of a back five. Who knows?
No, 100%. Look, I do believe we will switch between systems throughout the season between a 4-3-3 and a 5-3-2. I do think we will switch up between them. I think maybe the one against City was more so to kind of see out for the 3 points.
Definitely.
But the fact is the fact that this guy is used to playing in a back three centre backs. And look, growing up, he would have played in a back four at some stage as well. So very, very interesting there. It's very, very interesting. I think he'll take to it like a duck out of water. I really do. Left-sided centre-back, Jack. Look, for me, I think it's Cameron Carter-Vickers, because Joe Rodon got injured yesterday. So he's not available for today. He was injured yesterday. I said it last night on the Kaniki Answer Me, and it's come out. It's true. Rodon is injured. He got injured yesterday. Just on what Nuno said, with anyone that played against City was left at home, I don't expect to see a Dyer or Sanchez. So the only option there for me now is Cameron Carter-Vickers. Look, he played pre-season. He done all right. I don't really seem to remember him putting a foot wrong. Yeah, okay, they weren't against any great teams. But look, at the end of the day, Pacos and Ferreira, we should be beating them anyway. And look, it's a chance for the kid. Well, not kid, he's like, 22, 23 now. but look, it's a chance for him to maybe stake his place, because we haven't got rid of him.
Yeah.
We know that there has been a sort of interest from Bournemouth and stuff like that.
Right.
Still haven't got rid of him. Now, it could be a case that might happen in the last 2 weeks in the windows. But maybe Nuno is keeping him around. Maybe Nuno sees something in this guy. And look, this is an opportunity for him to showcase what he can do, Jack.
I think you're absolutely right, David. I think this maybe is his, best opportunity, maybe to keep a spot in the squad, maybe keep a spot in the roster, because he could easily be sent out on loan again. This is, it's still a game of consequence, compared to the friendlies before. This is a game that, at the end of the day still matters. We could still, potentially, be hurt this game. So we'll see how he steps up to the plate. But to be honest, with Carter-Vickers, I'm not so sure yet. I think this is a deciding game for him, and I wish him all the best, David. I wish him all the best. But moving on to left back, David, speaking of what you were saying about what Nuno was saying, being not a lot of players, or practically no players that started against City will be starting in this match, or even be featured in this match. So I'm going to go with Ben Davies, unfortunately, Mr. Passion for it over here. What do you think of that, Mr. Anonymous, maybe?
Yeah, look, I do. The only thing I can see being maybe a slight bit different, and we will mention this because we were toying with the idea, is that with Rodon being out, that Ben Davies could maybe play a left-sided centre-back with Session coming in at left-back. But we've decided to give Cameron Carter-Vickers his chance and gone with Ben Davies at left-back. That's what we have gone with. But look, there is a possibility people could see him play a left-sided centre-back, but we've gone with him at left-back. Look, we know what to expect from Ben Davies. Look, going forward, he gets a nosebleed if he goes beyond halfway line. Defensively, look, sometimes he can be found wanting, but he should be capable in this game. Left back, not to be really trouble at all. and he should cruise through this game. He should cruise through this game. And look, hopefully he can carry the form from Wales, from the European Championship into this season. Hopefully he can carry that form, because at the end of the day, we only want the best from these guys. We only want the best from these players. And look, hopefully Ben Davies can put in a solid shift for us.
Sure.
Moving into midfield. So we are going to go 4-3-3, guys. And in midfield, we'll start off with the guy who shall not be mentioned. So Jack, you can just bring him in. I'm not going to mention his name. But yeah, for me, he plays just because, look, Ndombele wasn't registered. I do believe that Sissoko has been left at home, maybe ahead of a potential move out of the club. I could be wrong, but this is just what I've been informed, that he has been left at home. So therefore, we are putting Winks in there. And look, going back to the preview yesterday, just quickly, I am a bit worried on this, because they do like to turn the ball over in midfield and get on the counter attack very, very quickly. So they're aggressive in midfield, and that worries me with Winks. But look, hopefully the guy can just have a good game. That's all we can hope for.
Yeah, hopefully, Winks doesn't, mistake, the Portuguese league, for the Spanish league. The Portuguese league is a bit more aggressive, a bit more pressing, like you were saying, David, where, the likes of Barcelona, all the clubs that, Mr. Passion here, seems to have been rumored with for so long. It's a bit slower over there, a bit more, like kind of like playing on the beach kind of, football. So to be honest, hopefully he doesn't make that mistake. But again, I do wish Stinksy all the best for this game. I really do hope that, he is able to take this seriously, maybe, develop the play a bit, hopefully not make too many, backwards passes that put our teammates in bad positions. But, again, really do wish him all the best, and hopefully he can put in a decent shift for the team. But moving on, David, maybe left-sided center mid, since we are doing kind of like a 4-3-3, a bit of a flat 4-3-3, some might say. Maybe Lo Celso on the left-sided center mid. What do you think?
Yeah, I would put him on the left side. I think it makes sense. He tends to play better over that side. And then the other player on the right hand side, because he's right footed, that we are going to pick. But yeah, Lo Celso on the left hand side for me, Jack. Look, I think he's going to be our main man in midfield. The guy, look, he's similar stature to Winks, but he's aggressive in his nature. He gets stuck in, and that helps him out an awful lot in the midfield. But not only that, he can play a ball. And look, this is a real chance for him to find his touch, find his form, find his passing range, get an assist, maybe break forward and get a goal. And for me, look, this is a huge chance for him, because he's one that splits opinion in the Spurs fan base, on his abilities. And look, he's one that Messi really, really highly rates with Argentina. Really highly rates him. In fact, this come out said before, he enjoys playing with him. He really likes playing with him. And look, hopefully Lo Celso can replicate that. And yeah, look, I think he could be very, very crucial for us in this game today, Jack.
Absolutely. I really love Gio. I really hope that Gio can kick off this season and, maybe sustain, a bit of form. It seems like he's had moments, he's had matches, of really brilliant form, what we've seen that world-class player in there, but we haven't seen it for a sustained period of time. And that's also, not even, down to his own inconsistency. That's just down to his injuries, and plenty of other things as well. So I really do hope that Gio kicks off this season. And since he didn't feature too much in the Man City game, I will say when he came on, he did definitely, put in a solid shift. He won plenty of tackles, was kind of toying with the City defenders as well, wasting time. So he really did seem to be on it. And I really hope he just has a really good season this season. So yeah, really excited to see Gio tear apart Pacos de Ferreira. But I'm going to go maybe for that right side at center mid here, David, and Niall John. And David, I want you to tell me, is this maybe the right pick here, going with Niall John for right side at center mid?
Yeah, 100%. Look, when I was looking at this game, I think he was always in my midfield, to be honest with you. Look, this guy I actually think has earned it over pre-season. He's a big guy for his age. He's powerful. He's got them big, stocky legs, which means it'll carry him. And for me, it makes sense, like you were saying, to have Gio on the left and John on the right, because, like we've seen in pre-season, John is allowed to get further forward. Dele Alli, who was playing on the left, is allowed to get further forward. So naturally, Lo Celso and Niall John, with what we have, the options to pick from, are the natural replacements put in there for a game like this, because they're comfortable going forward with Winks playing in the holding sort of role.
Like
so for me, look,
yeah,
Niall John, but look, I think he's definitely earned his stripes over pre-season, Jack. I think he's definitely 100% earned his opportunity to play this game, and I think it could be one that Nuno is looking at, because he had when he was at Wolves, he had this thing for Gibbs White. He brought him through and was blooding him, giving him time, and he earned his stripes in pre-season. And I hope Niall John can do the same, because there's definitely a player in there. And we have to remember, this is a guy that Mourinho had on the bench a couple of times
Yeah.
last season in Europa League. So there is definitely a clear talent in there. And, he definitely will put in a shift for these games. And look, it's if he does start, it's progression from last season, from being on the bench and getting a few minutes, to this season starting and getting a good run out and showcasing what he can do. Jack, your thoughts on Niall John coming in here?
Yeah, I really like Niall John David. In the preseason, he just seemed to put himself in really, really intelligent positions. He has really
Yeah.
smart movement, I think, in and around the 18 area. He seemed to even have that one moment where he took a shot from distance that was very powerful, and it was very surprising considering, his stature, and
Mm.
he really seemed to unleash it, almost kind of Modric-like, you might say. And as well, he just seems to have, like I said again, a very intelligent movement. Seems to be probably the one of these three. He'll be maybe the one that's going a bit further forward, I would say. He
Mm.
seems to like to kind of roam in and around near the striker. He might even roam, next to Scarlett, plenty of times, who we might be seeing featured this game. And yeah, David, really, really rate Niall John, and
Do
I
you know
want to
what I
see
like
more and
about
more
him?
of him.
Do you know what I like him about as well, Jack, is he has the confidence to be able to take a shot. We've seen that in pre-season. If
Yeah.
he gets in around the box, he will take a shot. He'll have a crack. He's confident. So it all bodes very, very well for this guy. It all bodes well for this guy. Look, moving on to the right hand side, and we'll let
Mm.
Jack make the pick for this one. So, Jack, who do you want to see on the right hand side?
What I really want it to be, David, it's going to be Brian Hill coming in off the right. Plenty of people think he's going to be he may be playing off the left, considering he did do that, with Ibar in his last season on loan there. But I do think, they are going to try to convert him into a bit of an inside, forward coming in off the right, maybe trying to do exactly what Lucas does, with the ability that Lucas has, to come into the midfield, to come inside and be able to play pass through the line. So I don't see why Hill can't do that, considering he is left footed. He does seem to be really good at also taking it down the sidelines anyway. So I don't see why you wouldn't have a problem on the right hand side doing it. It might be even a lot easier for him that way. He's also very hardworking. So it'd be nice to see him, next to Doherty, maybe help him out in defense as well. So yeah, I'm going to personally go with Hill. We could easily see him on the left, but I think regardless, David, he's going to be starting, and so I'm just going to, out of my own personal satisfaction, would like to see him on the right today.
He's left footed, Gil, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. So what I would say to that is, just to add to what you were saying, it makes sense to kind of convert him to an inverted winger, because if you look at Son over the other side, he's right footed. He loves to come in. And the thing is, when you do that with Hill, like if he cuts in and he's left footed, he opens up gaps for Son to be able to run to the back post. He can play a lovely floated ball over the top, like you see Mahrez do for City. You have Kane, who can also, feed off that. And it just creates different angles. And it would make sense to have him coming in off the right with his left foot to be able to play them if Nuno is going to go with Kane and Son, because the two of them can then make runs and act as a two up front, more or less, when Gil does cut inside, which makes sense. And for me, look, this is a guy I'm very, very excited, Jack. I'm very, very excited to see this guy to make his debut. Look, I watched him a bit in the Olympics, and yeah, I think there's definitely talent there. I think there's definitely talent there. And look, hopefully he can replicate it in a Spurs shirt, and he can. It's a big move for him, and hopefully he can really kick on from here. And I just want to see him being given the trust and being given the minutes to prove to us that that he deserves to be here. Because again, he's another one that splits the fan base at the moment. Although no one's seen him, it's kind of like, well, look, he's relatively unknown. Not many people have heard of him. So look, this guy, this kid will have a point to prove, and I genuinely believe in this game we'll see his talents.
Yeah, I think as well, just quickly, we see what Lucas has been doing, coming inside, coming in off the right and then playing a ball in behind. We even, debuted it, and, in one of those animations,
Yeah.
on this program that we have here. And as well, when you think about that, are we expecting another player to be able to do exactly what Lucas is doing with being a right-footed player? That just sounds, so difficult. It sounds, only something that someone like Lucas can really do. So it probably would make sense that we would have a left-footed player try to do a bit of a similar thing. And it's also just easier for a left-footed player to do it as well. Think of it like how Riyad Mahrez does it. Lucas is doing exactly what Riyad Mahrez does, but only with his right foot, and a bit more energetic, a bit more, kind of taking on, player after player. And Brian Hill also fits that bill. So I'd love to see him come off the right. But maybe should we move on to striker, David, or maybe go to the other winger?
Yeah, whatever one you want to do, Jack. Whatever floats your boat, lad.
Maybe this one we're going to go to the other winger, David, and it is for me. It could be between a couple of people. It could be between Jack Clark. It could be between Sessegnon, who is playing in the under-23s, David. But I'm going to go with Jack Clark. It pains me to say it. It's kind of like putting Davies at left back. It didn't bode well with me, but it's just trying to be realistic. David, we were 1-for-1 in terms of the City game. We had every single player in their position predicted perfectly. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be the most accurate we can, regardless of our bias. So we are going to put Jack Clark at left wing here. And David, what do you think about that?
Yeah, look, first of all, Matt Hayes would be absolutely delighted to see this. He's a huge fan. But look, let me tell the reason the reason why we are going with Jack Clark. So right, Sessegnon, we naturally we would have picked Sessegnon, right? But what our thinking is the guy had a serious injury, all of preseason. He's not back in training. He was only back in training a couple of days before the City game. He played Monday night in the under-23s and came off at halftime. For me, that obviously gives us the indication he was always going to travel today and he's going to play at some stage. But weighing up, do you risk him or do you put him on the bench and you can bring him off the bench if needs be for like a Jack Clark or a Galini or whatever you want to do? And we've just gone. It's probably the protective nature in us, Jack. But
Yeah.
we've just gone to kind of protect him a little bit. Now, like I said, I'll be clear. He could definitely start at left back with Davies playing left side of centre back, or he could definitely start left wing tonight. But with our protective nature in us, we maybe think he could come off the bench tonight. And that's why we're putting Jack Clark out there. And look, Jack Clark, another player, look, I personally don't think he's going to cut the mustard at Tottenham. I don't see it. For me, look, he needs to take a leaf out of Dane Scarlett book, maybe bulk up a bit because he just gets knocked off the ball too easy. But again, he's a player with a point to prove. Hopefully the double training sessions over preseason has really, really got him super fit and got him flying. And look, hopefully he can come out here and produce tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I really hope he can produce. I wish him all the best. And, maybe in terms of Sessegnon, if Sessegnon were to start, like David was saying, hopefully it's in that maybe kind of a, 3 in the back, 5 in the back kind of scenario where he's, playing as our outside wing back. That would honestly probably be absolutely what every Spurs fans, is kind of wanting to see this season at some point. Moving on to striker, David, I am going to go with Dane Mbappe. Is there anybody else that you think could take the spot, or are we going to see Dane Mbappe starting tonight?
No, look, for me, it has to be Starlet Dane Mbappe. Has to be. For me, look, I actually think he's earned it. He played a lot of minutes preseason. All the noises coming out of the dressing room is that he's a super talent. Everyone protects him. He's like a sponge. He takes everything in. I'm hearing nothing but good things. And for me, look, it's games like this. You have to be able to give the kid a chance to see whether he's good enough or not. Look, if it turns out, maybe he's phasing out of games and he's not good enough, we can loan him out come January or whatever, to be able to give him them minutes, to be able to get them minutes and that experience under his belt. But there's no way of knowing until you give the guy a chance. And for me, you have to give him a chance tonight. And he's going to be. I predicted he will score a brace tonight. I do think he'll score two. And the reason why I say that is because Pacos play a highlight, right? Naturally, they play a highlight. Now, they could switch it up for Tottenham. Don't get me wrong. They could sit a little deeper. But from what I've gathered and what the research I've done, they don't really change their tactics up too much. But because it's Tottenham, they could. But for me, if they do go with that high line, it's absolutely suicidal with Dane Scarlett. Because the one thing, and I even go back to last season when he came on in the Europa League, and one thing I've always said is the difference between Parrott and Scarlett is Scarlett's runs are that intelligent. He's never relying on his strength. It's just he just uses his pure pace and he's in behind. Whereas Parrott, maybe his runs aren't the best and he likes the ball to feet, so he needs his strength and he doesn't quite have it. But with Scarlett, he's already realised that further down the line, he will have to be able to learn to hold the ball up and stuff like that and do different parts of the game. So he's already bulking up.
Right.
He's already bulking up. But for me, look, I think his runs are so intelligent. His runs kind of remind me of maybe a Michael Owen when he burst on the scene and was first making them runs straight in behind and no one could catch him. And for me, I think this is the perfect opportunity to put him out there and let's see what he's made of.
For sure, David. I think those are all great analogies, and I'm really hoping that Mbappe scores that brace that we're all expecting him to. I think everybody was, anticipating that tonight, so I hope we do see it. But yeah, that is the end of the predicted lineup, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed this one. David and I hope to go 2 for 2 here in terms of our predictions. If we see the back three, back five, though, I will be delighted nonetheless. Though, but yep. That's a predicted lineup for the Harris Army, and let us know if we got any wrong, and let us know which ones you guys think you would like to see instead.
Yeah, 100%. So look, guys, there you have it, your predicted lineup. I'll run through it just one more time. It is Galini in goals. It's Doherty at right back. It's Romero and Carter Vickers as centre back. Davies at left back. Winks, John, and Lo Celso forming the midfield three with Jack Clark out left, Ryan Hill out right, and then Dane Mbappe up front. So look, there you have it, guys. There's your predicted lineup. Like Jack was saying, make sure you smash a like on the stream and subscribe on the channel if you're new. But most importantly, tell us your starting 11 in the comments below, and get ready for the game. Come on, you Spurs! Big victory incoming.
In Nuno we trust.
And of course, like Jacko said, in Nuno we trust. Let's have it. Portugal. The best thing about Portugal is going on holidays.